you ever wondered if your business can benefit from day parting or if there is a right way to build a day parting strategy? Stick with me to find out. Hi, I'm Avinash, co founder of SellerMate.ai, and today I will walk you through the day parting calculator that we have built that allows you to identify a data backed strategy for your Amazon business. Departing allows you to change your bids, budget, or placement to ensure that most of your ad spend is focused during the hours when you see success on Amazon. Let's first understand how to identify more profitable hours for you on Amazon using data. If you go to reporting section in Amazon, you will see a report called hourly report in your ads console. If you download that report, this is how that report looks like. This is essentially an hour level breakdown of campaign level data for the last 15 days. If you are using Amazon, if you're not using any tool, then you get maximum of 15 days of data. However, if you are an existing SellerMate customer, then in Dayparting, we have given you a very neatly organized heat map. So this is Sunday to Saturday time of day with filters for campaign and at a keyword level that you can use to identify and see patterns in the data. So right now, for example, I'm comparing impressions with clicks. I can look at click-through rates and see more data around the click-through rates and identify patterns that might be useful for me for building the understanding of the business. But what do I do with this understanding? And that's where this day parting calculator comes into picture. We have created a free tool, Amazon PPC Dayparting calculator, that you can use to identify if varying your bids, budget, or placement throughout the day can get you a more benefit in your return on ad spend. Let me show you with the sample data that we have here. So if you look at this chart, and this is how, if you take that hourly data and try to plot it, looks like. So if you see here, towards the end of the day, I'm seeing a spike in sales and my cost is low. My spend is almost consistent throughout the day. But at certain times of the day, if you look at it, my cost shoots up, my sales go down. Now, typically, if you're not using day parting, you can't really take advantage of these fluctuations. Ideally, I would want to bid a little bit more here where I see a spike in sales and I already have a lower cost and maybe reduce my bids here early in the day, maybe avoid bid rush. Now, this is where day parting comes into picture. And let me first show you with the calculator how this looks like. So if you look at the calculator, you will see a breakdown of data at an hourly level, which is an aggregated data. And then if you scroll down further, you will see this day parting calculator result. That's right here. So what this calculator is telling you is at each hour of the day for any day of the week, what is the multiplier that you need to apply on your bids? What do I mean by multiplier? So 1.5 here means you should increase your bids by 50% here, and 0.75 would mean you should reduce your bids by 25% in this. Now, to do this manually is not possible right now. For that, you will need to use tools for Amazon. And I'm going to show you how you can do it using SellerMate. But if you're using any other tool, you can apply this strategy as well. So in SellerMate, you can do day parting for bids, budget, as well as placements. For example, if you only want to boost top of search, you can do that. So I'm just going to show you a very small example of bid day parting. So you can identify specific targets. Now, this is the additional thing that you get in SellerMate. You can do day parting at a target level. You don't need to apply a day parting strategy to your full campaign. But if you want, you can. Now, here, based on the calculator, you can apply your strategy and say, I want to reduce my bids by, let's say, 30% in early hours of the day and increase my bids by 50% later in the day. You can do it at a 4-hour level, at a 1-hour level, or even at 6 hours level. You can do it for weekday, weekend separately, or apply same strategy throughout the day. all days of the week. Now, what this does is it consciously shifts your ad spend from less productive hours to a little bit more productive hours of the day, and make sure it can have two levels of impact. First, it can help you reduce your ACOS because now you are getting more out of your ad spend. Second is, let's say you are a growth brand and you want to focus more on sales. What you can do is you can take this same suggestions here and say, I don't want to reduce my bids too much. I will probably reduce them by 10% where it's the most, where it's the worst for me, and then increase it by a larger factor where I see potential to further increase. Let me also give you a little bit more context around the rationale that goes behind this day parting calculator. So, what SellerMate right now recommends you using this calculator is using revenue per click and cost per click as two factors that you can compare and build your departing strategy. You don't need to build it. You can directly use the departing strategy calculator that we have built and apply that, and you will see good returns. Another strategy that we have seen people apply is comparing conversion rate to a cost. And based on this, for example, your let's say your revenue per click is high at certain hour and cost per click is lower than your average, then that's a good place for you to increase your bids. Similarly, if you have a high conversion rate and low cost, probably that's the right hour for you to increase your bids, and vice versa. If CPC is high and RPC is low, maybe you should reduce your bids. So this is a very simplistic picture of what goes on behind the scene for this departing calculator. And what this would allow you to do is get more out of your ad spend without worrying about how you build your strategy, because this takes into account a lot of algorithms that we have built proprietary, using our ML algorithms at the back end. Let me show you what goes behind the scene in this departing calculator at a very simplistic level. So what departing calculator does is it looks at different metrics throughout the day. For example, in this particular calculator, we are looking at revenue per click, we are looking at cost per click, and we are looking at conversion rates to arrive at the multipliers that we are recommending. Another strategy that we have seen work well is checking conversion rate and ACOS. Now, a simplistic way would be if your revenue per click at particular R is high and your cost per click is low, then that's a good candidate for you to be increasing your bids. Or if it's the other way around, let's say cost per click is too high and revenue per click is lower than your average, then probably you should reduce your bids there a little bit. So this is the way you can think about it. You don't need to. You can look at our departing calculator, which already takes into account a bunch of these algorithms before coming up with these strategy that we are recommending. And then you can use a tool to reduce or increase the bits based on different times of the day or different days of the week to get you the maximum returns that you are seeking. I will leave the link to the tool in the description. Go ahead, give it a try, and let us know if you like it or not.